Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week at everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news the signs continue of a rising business cycle that is nearing its end. In the US, the regional data continues its trend of subdued results. The closely watched Chicago PMI fell sharply in April, falling to 52.6 from 58.7 in March. That's the lowest reading since January 2017. 4 of its 5 components declined, and new orders fell for a second straight month. Meanwhile, the giant US housing market is showing some signs of picking itself up from the canvas, although it's still on one knee. The March pending home sales data rose in February, although it was still 3.2% below the same month a year ago. Still, that's better than the 5% decline year on year it showed in February. Another sign of cooling perhaps comes from the tech giant Google, who reported lower ad revenues in the first quarter of 2019, down 9% from the fourth quarter of 2018. Wall Street is in reverse today, especially tech stocks, and the continuing drip of negative data has the US administration worried. They are now calling for a 1% slash of the Fed's official interest rate. The Federal Open Market Committee is meeting today and will release its decision this time tomorrow. It is unlikely to change rates or policy positions, however. Canada's GDP growth for February undershot expectations and actually fell from the previous month, although it is still up a meagre 1.1% year on year. And in a separate report for Mexico, they also reported a contraction in the March quarter from the fourth quarter of 2018, taking annual growth down to 1.3%. In China, there was a bump in the road with their official factory PMI coming in lower than expected in April and barely expanding, reversing the good and surprisingly good gain in March. The official Chinese services PMI also undershot, although not significantly. The private sector Caixin PMI was also released for April, and that showed a very similar weakness, even if it was an improvement. In Europe, the March 2019 quarter GDP data was released overnight, showing a fractional improvement from a year ago. EU growth was up 1.5%, with weakest contributions from both France and Italy, although both actually recorded tiny gains in real output. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 2.5%, down 4 basis points from yesterday. Gold is up $4 from yesterday and now at $1,283 an ounce. US oil prices are a little higher today, now just under $64 a barrel, when the Brent benchmark is just under $73 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar will open today marginally firmer at 66.8 US cents. On the cross rates, we're now at 94.7 Aussie cents, and a small rise on the day. Against the euro, we're a little changed at 59.5 euro cents. That puts the TWI at 71.6. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.